Ooh, and I have some very exciting news. We are ready for our Sonic Origins showcase. All right, I got nothing else to say here. We've waited long enough. Our runner is SnowballSMB. Snowball, gotta go fast.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Snowball, and this is going to be Sonic Origins Sonic and Knuckles New Game Plus with Amy and Tails. Give a quick rundown. Sonic Origins is a lovely little collection of Sonic 1, CD, 2, and 3 and Knuckles. And then in the Plus DLC, there were also some Game Gear titles, but more importantly, playable Amy Rose was added. So I'm going to be playing through Mushroom Hill through Death Egg from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so that is the Sonic and Knuckles half, and Amy will be teamed up with Tails to make for a pretty interesting run. Let's see how much trolling Tails does today, but I'm not alone on comms today.
Hi, my name is FawkesRocks. I am also a Sonic Origins runner, though I primarily run Sonic CD, and I also primarily play Amy in Sonic CD and here in Sonic Origins. So yeah, really excited for this run and for us to get started.
All right, going to give a real quick countdown, and then we are going to be off with Mushroom Hill in 3, 2, 1, go. So Sonic is the only character that we won't actually be seeing of the main four, even though all four of them, Sonic, Knuckles, Amy, and Tails, are all in the category name. There was Knuckles, he's cool. Tails closed the door on me. So right there I grabbed a big ring. Normally big rings take you to special stages, but since this is New Game Plus, this save already has all of the Super Emeralds collected. So the big rings, instead of going to special stages, will just instantly give me 50 rings. And once I have 50 rings, then I can activate Hyper Amy, which means really fast, really good jump height, invincible, and because of the way that I roll my finger across all of the spin dash buttons, there's a little bit of a tease of Hyper Amy's unique ability that I won't spoil too much until we get to the next boss, because it's very funny in the next boss.
Yeah, thank you, Tails, for that hand there with that mini boss there.
Yeah, Tails is not a fan of that mini boss. I've noticed that, like, that feels like pretty close to the boss he's most reliable in for getting some extra hits. But Knuckles is gonna help us get to the Autumn Forest side of Mushroom Hill, which is honestly, I love the vibes of this stage's aesthetic.
It is really pretty.
Something else that I really like about Mushroom Hill for New Game Plus. Okay, that happened. For New Game Plus is there are quite a few big rings in Mushroom Hill, and I think that's probably due to the fact that this is the first stage in Sonic and Knuckles. So, you know, wanting to give players as many opportunities to collect those Super Emeralds as possible. But both acts have one that's like right on the path, which makes it very, very convenient for just instantly having the rings necessary to activate Hyperstate. And now we get to see what Hyper Aim. Okay, that I think's a visual glitch.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen.
So if you just mash the Super/Hyper transformation button while Amy is in her hyper state, she will just throw an endless stream of Pico Pico hammers. I have two nicknames for that ability. One is a serious nickname, the other is a complete joke. The serious nickname is Chaos Hammerstorm, and the joke name is Chaos Home Depot.
Yes. You know, Amy getting all of her own carpentry work done. And Flying Battery, the stage with arguably the best music in the game, to most people. This one, having to navigate a lot of these pulleys, trying to avoid the fire. We will actually see, I believe later in this stage, some of the, yeah, right here, we're gonna see the elemental shields. They are a pivotal part of, Sonic 3 and Knuckles in general, but especially this run here in Sonic and Knuckles. There are 3 of them. There's this one you're seeing here, which is the flame shield. That prevents you from taking fire damage, gives you an extra hit point before you lose your rings. And if you're playing as Sonic, it gives you a special dash. But it's really important here with all the flame jets in terms of protecting you from fire. There's 2 others. There's the lightning shield, which it protects you from lightning damage, and acts also as a magnet for rings, which we will see later on in the run. And there's the bubble shield, which prevents you from drowning. Now we have popped the hyper state, trying to avoid all of those spikes. They can crush you, even in hyper form, so gotta be, Snowball's gotta be really careful around those.
Yeah, I want to real quick shout out Fire Tokay, a member of the Sonic Origins speedrunning community, for bringing up the point that those like magnet spike crushy things are actually on a time-based cycle. So if you know when the magnet is going to activate or deactivate, you can actually play around that really well. Before, I would just like stand next to the magnet and just wait for it to turn off or turn on, so that way I didn't have to worry about that. But having that knowledge, I think it's like halfway through each 9 or 4 second on like timers of about 5 seconds. So it's really just useful info to have for streamlining that part of the stage.
Most definitely. A lot of things are not that nice on time-based cycles, but that is one of the rare exceptions that it's not RNG, it is predictable. So we can definitely work around that.
Act 2. Act 2 is pretty scary, actually one of the scarier stages in the run, in my opinion, because of just how many different spots throughout the stage it's very easy to get crush killed at. Mostly because of these guys, these big elevator pole things.
I don't know what you'd call them.
For some reason, if you just run into the side of them, it's just possible to get crush killed for no apparent reason, and I really don't understand why, and ugh, that was awkward. Normally I don't fly right over the like speed boost jet
is
thing.
another spot that is easy to get crushed at. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you mean by that. It's yeah, I have not seen that happen before. Excellent getting over the jet thing.
Alright, now I'm going to use hyperstate so that way I just have enough speed guaranteed to make it all the way up that little mesh cylinder, because it's bad if you don't get up there.
It really is. It wastes a lot of time.
Yeah, Flying Battery is one of those stages where, like, if you're not able to stay on the optimal route, there's a good chance that just restarting the stage is going to be faster, even when you're, like, a minute plus into the stage. It's rough.
It is really rough. This is one of the... I believe this is one of the only levels in Sonic and Knuckles that is vertically wrapping, with I think the other one being Sandopolis. So... yeah, you can definitely lose a lot of time just from falling off the optimal path. Sonic 2 called. It wants its boss back.
Yeah, I don't know why Eggman thought to make the laser prison again. Like, it really didn't work in 2.
It didn't, and he's trying it again. We have probably my least favorite part of the stage, because this is effectively an auto-scroller. We have a floor that is chasing us, and that is actually going, and so we kind of just have to wait for it to catch up because it's on a set cycle and we can't make it speed up. We just kind of gotta wait for it.
Yeah.
So we get to hang out here with Tails, who's yawning because he's so tired for waiting for it.
Yeah, but fortunately, Hyper Amy is the fastest character when it comes to fighting this boss because her hammers go through the floor, making her the only character that can damage the boss while he's just hanging around. Also, that boss is called Egg Hanger because he just is hanging around.
Very creative name.
Yeah, I don't make the rules. And now, we are going to be moving on into my personal favorite zone out of probably Sonic just as a whole, but especially 2D Sonic, Sandopolis. I love this stage so much. Act 1 is, I believe, with the exception of Hidden Palace, because Hidden Palace is so short, this is going to be the only stage where, ideally speaking, I will not be activating Hyperstate because the just sort of lineup of when you get your 50 rings never really works for, like, a meaningful Hyperstate activation because of also these, sort of drum cycles. But let's see if Tails is going to help out here.
Tails can definitely troll a little bit, unfortunately.
My thumb got stuck on the jump button. That was not on Tails.
No! It is actually a smaller window than you think for Tails to grab you, so.
Every once in a while, my spin dash strength is a little too strong and I end up on that top path, but that's fine because I can just drop right down. My thumb got stuck on the jump button again. Fingers, please work. That actually lined up a lot better for that cycle there, though, so that actually wasn't any time loss at all.
Yeah, that looked like a very good cycle.
But we're going to go down the slide, jump over the sand wall, go past a couple more of these drums, and then we are going to be to thrilling gameplay the boss.
Very thrilling.
The pyramid has to pop out of the ground, Regirock has to walk out the door, and then chase after us for like 30 seconds, so... great time for any messages from the host.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure we're all going to be thrilled while I give this information. We've just opened a new bid war for our cooking IRL percent of Stardew Valley later, so you can choose the recipe. A spring recipe of farmer's lunch, a summer recipe of tropical curry, a fall recipe of the survival burger, or a winter recipe of eggplant parmesan. Kind of like Eggman, perhaps. And remember that if you donate to our Tiltify campaign, you can assign your dollars to more than one incentive. So while you're supporting the Sonic CD Boss Rush, which this run is already kind of almost halfway over, so you're going to want to do that. And if you do that, you can sign up for both incentives.
Right, into the pyramid we go. This is, I think, probably the third longest stage in the run. My personal favorite. There are a few gimmicks to this stage. There's the dimming lights, there are the ghosts that we just unleashed. Their size and aggressiveness both increase as the lights get dimmer. There are little light pulley switches from the ceiling that will turn the lights back on and make the ghosts go away for a little bit. There are these sort of push blocks that open up doors. We saw those a little bit, sort of like a tease for them in Act 1. I should probably turn the lights back on when I get the chance.
Ghosts are definitely in their most aggressive state, and when they are in their aggressive state, they will start actively attacking you. And the only way to really fend them off is to be spin dashing or jumping, so they can certainly get a little bit frustrating if we do not turn on the lights again.
Well, that was an unfortunate part of the cycle, and I just accidentally jumped into the spikes. This is
This is a little rough, but you've got this.
Everything's fine. The lights are back on, the ghosts are gone, and now... This is sort of like the second phase of this stage by Tails. We have to sort of... I like to call this part of the stage the Sun-Baked Sandcastle part because I played Super Mario Galaxy a lot as a kid, and one of my favorite levels was a Sun-Baked Sandcastle where you're also in a desert structure and there is rising sand chasing after you that will crush you if it catches you. So it's kind of auto-scroller-ish, kind of not. Tails is like the big reason why it's kind of not, because his flight definitely can speed things up and also makes this section a lot less stressful.
Yes, it is certainly
Unfortunately, the
stressful
cycle didn't
without...
line up.
It is very, very stressful without Tails, as without him, you are completely reliant on the level of the sand to give you any vertical reach, and it is very easy to accidentally get crushed or to have the ghosts troll you instead. We're heading into, I believe, kind of the last third of the stage.
Yeah, I wanted to be a little bit careful there because if I go too quickly with jumping up onto the spikes on that barrel, it is really easy to accidentally rush off too fast and grab the, like, handlebar for that rope on the side of the wall, and that you can't jump off of that once you've grabbed it, and it's really slow.
It's really slow. It looks cool, but it's really slow.
Yeah. Gonna hit that checkpoint for safety.
Yes, we're coming up to another very riveting boss that, if we're unlucky enough, can crush you. I don't know why they programmed it that way, but they did. But it looks like we got away scot-free and are finishing up the act.
Yeah, I've had to take that boss quite a bit safer than usually my hyper-aggressive playstyle would normally let me, because I have lost very good pace Sonic 3 and Knuckles boss rush runs to getting crush killed by that boss. That is something else. There is that incentive for the Sonic CD boss rush, and that is something else that I really, really like that Sonic Origins added for Sonic 1, CD, 2, and 3, and Knuckles all, is a boss rush mode. I love the idea of boss rushes. I honestly can't believe I didn't get crush killed by that door there for no reason. But the Sonic 3 and Knuckles boss rush is very mean, and that's how I learned Sando 2 can crush you if you're not ready for it. But this stage, Lava Reef Act 1, is really the first major instance of utilizing the Lightning Shield's ring magnet. Because this stage is a lot of like back and forth movement, and you can go off the path pretty early. I can't believe I didn't get crush killed there.
That was close.
Before I completely ruined the train of thought with that, this stage you do actually go off the track a little bit really early on to grab a bunch of rings and a lightning shield, because it's just so much faster to have hyper states increased speed. for like the whole stage with how long it is and just how many rings you would normally not be getting without the lightning shield. Thanks for the save, Tails.
By this point in the game, by this point in the game, a lot of the rings are very much out of the way. They're not being handed to you as often, and yeah, it's frustrating. And this is a really long act. This is one of the longest acts in the game, I believe. So yeah, definitely frustrating. There, but we got lucky, and that's good. Actually,
I still can't believe I didn't get crush killed a couple times on that that stage.
No, you absolutely rocked that timing. There were a lot of close calls there. Definitely shows that, and this is one of the things I most definitely appreciate about this game in general, is just the absolute and especially from New Game Plus runs that are running at even higher speeds than what you'd see normally, and it's that just absolute surgical precision movement that runners have to do in order to, you know, get optimal timing, not get crush killed, especially in this game. We see that a lot more frequently than you see in the other titles. Definitely a testament to the skill required to run these kind of categories.
Hey, Tails. What do you say about helping me get back up there? Thanks, buddy. Did not mean to fall down there. I'm honestly kind of surprised that Tails was as cooperative. Also, I need to be a little bit careful here because I did just lose my lightning shield. There's a big ring up ahead that's right on a shortcut that we take in the speed run. And if I can get there without taking damage, then that is gonna be ideal, because there is also a lightning shield, believe it or not, in the boss arena. This boss is going to be a little bit different. There's like a whole platforming section of the actual boss fight first, and then we have the actual fight, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah. It's definitely unique.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit of a meanie here and push us down to the boss arena with the boulder.
He's just doing his best. I do have enough rings to reactivate hyperstate, because on that transition into the boss arena, it does deactivate hyper if you are in hyper. Here's the one problem with that. The increased speed makes it very slidey to play the game, and I have slipped off this section right here and died. And there aren't quite enough rings to be able to have hyperstate if that happens, so I'm gonna just wait on that until we get down here. The fire shield lets you stand on lava. Tails is made of indestructible titanium. And this boss, unfortunately, hyperstate can't damage. So it's just waiting for, I think it's 14 of these mines that Eggman himself launches into the air to come back and damage him. So, well, we're admiring Amy's idle animation. Sav, if you got any other messages, this is a really good time.
Awesome. You were talking about how great the boss rush modes are, and I just wanted to remind the audience that if we reach $150 by the end of the run, which is rapidly speeding along, you are going to see that Sonic CD boss rush. Currently, we're at about $42 towards that, and I know that we can get this racing, chat. I know that we can get it, because you've heard Snowball. Snowball wants to play this, and I know you want to see it.
I most definitely want to see it. I mean, I know I'm biased because my main game is Sonic CD. But yeah, I really want to see it too. It's a really it's a really cool run to see, especially seeing it in Sonic Origins, where they've made some minor modifications that, in my opinion, make it fairly unique compared to CD93. So, yeah.
Yeah, so you hear that? Do it for FawkesRocks.
And do it if you're a Metal Sonic enjoyer. There is Metal Sonic content in that boss rush.
Yes.
Alright, now we have the shortest stage in the run, and one of the 2 single-act zones. This is Hidden Palace. It's kind of an extension of Lava Reef. I mean, it's got the same music as Lava Reef Act 2. We have to go beat up Knuckles, and then Eggman's going to steal the Master Emerald. That's unfortunate. I went too fast.
Oh, no.
But Knuckles is back in the timeout corner.
Poor Knuckles. He doesn't know any better. He really is trying.
And that's the fight.
Excellent. Now, fun fact actually about this Eggman. So, he actually still has hit points here. And if you were to use some glitches or cheats to get out of this cutscene and hit him again, you would have to hit him 255 times, and then he would die and turn into a flicky.
I didn't know that last part.
Yeah, and then you're just kind of soft-locked forever until you time over.
I didn't know that part. I realized also in that fight, we haven't actually talked about Amy's unique abilities. So Amy has 2 special abilities that she's got. She's got this hammer spin, which gives her a massive hitbox in the air, and that's sort of what lets her just lock Knuckles in the corner. She also has a hammer rush that's a lot like Sonic's drop dash. It's a little bit slower, to my knowledge, but you can, like, turn around, like 180 degrees and conserve all your momentum. Also, I cannot believe I did not hit those spikes when I had Tails carrying me up because I accidentally jumped off the rail.
Yeah, the hammer rush is slightly slower than a standard drop dash, but as you mentioned, has that advantage of actually being able to turn around and conserve your momentum, which is not something that Sonic's drop dash has. And of course, when we're wanting to go fast, conserving momentum is very important. Sky Sanctuary is kind of special because we actually have 3 Mecha Sonic bosses we're gonna see. We're going to see, the first one is going to be Mecha Sonic in the Eggmobile. Name almost escaped me. With the ball kind of similar to Green Hill Zone. The second one is going to be Mecha Sonic again in the Eggmobile, and I believe that one, yes, that one is where he will have like the little egg balloons similar to Metropolis Zone in Sonic 2. And the final one is just finding Mecha Sonic by himself. So that'll be interesting. This is, like I mentioned earlier, one of the 3 vertically scrolling stages where Tails is definitely the most helpful in terms of making sure that we can gain height as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and actually, about those 3 boss fights, yeah, Tails can just skip the first 2. So we're at the end of the stage. Thanks, Tails.
Thanks, Tails.
Yeah, Tails kind of just blows that stage apart. Because it is a vertical stage, like Fox mentioned. His flight is so busted when combined with the, like, exact structure of the stage components themselves. So having him along is really, really nice. And now we're in Death Egg. This is the final zone of the run. Act 1 is pretty standard. Just running through the stage, avoiding missiles. There's some conveyor belts.
Lots of
And there's
mix here.
And there's some like roller coaster things. I almost got crush killed because I'm always forgetting that that set of spikes exists. That guy's always a nuisance. I need to not go too fast or else I will accidentally jump into that missile. How do I know this? I have done it before. Now let's see. Can Tails help open up the lock?
Yeah, so this is actually one of the reasons that we haven't popped Hyper yet, is because of this section right here. If you have the slippery controls of Hyper mode, it is a lot harder to pop that lock. We're on the first roller coaster here. This is the only one that really helps us in this act. We're gonna try and skip the last two of this act because they kind of just meander and don't go anywhere. And now we're heading into Red Eye, which is a tough one. In the second phase, these platforms that are about to spawn right here can be a little frustrating, but looks like they are being fairly nice to us. And yes, they are being nice to us, just getting through that pretty cleanly.
Yeah, it's really, really easy for when the platforms are spinning around Red Eye really fast to just, like, catch you while you're, like, bouncing off of him, dealing damage, and just, like, fling you all around, and it's just a very annoying source of time loss. Because there's very little time to actually be able to react to it because of just how fast the platforms move. But now we've got Act 2. The longest stage in the run, and I just accidentally lost my lightning shield because I remembered that that guy exists. After I started charging my spin dash, if you just release the spin dash, you will collide right into him and lose it anyway, but I tried to jump out of it, and I got hit by the spikes anyway. Okay, I don't know why she jumped there.
I don't know either, quite honestly. That's a new one.
She jumped because the number jumped up on the incentive. Codebreaker sent in a $25 donation. So that's $66.66 towards the incentive. Keep it coming, y'all.
Yeah, there's not much time left on that. This is the final stage. Also, I just realized that there's like the one instance actually in Sonic and Knuckles of having the bubble shield, because Hydro City and Launch Base are both in the Sonic 3 half. I mean, those are the zones with water. But the bubble shield is there. I wanted to grab it since I lost the lightning shield and I wanted that little bit of extra protection. This sucks. I hate playing this part of the stage without Hyperstate because these seesaws are terrible. They are over a bottomless pit right before a checkpoint. Why? I don't know. But fortunately, the missile cycles and the seesaws were very, very cooperative. Now I'm in Hyperstate quite a bit later than I normally like to. Amy's accidental jump earlier into the spikes kinda pumped the brakes on that, but now I need to, once again, avoid these coasters because they just drain time, doing all sorts of loop-de-loops around the room. It's stylish, at least, but that's all it is. Also, who in chat likes the sound ooh-woo?
Uh-oh.
Because we're coming up to the boss of Act 2, Ooh-woo Ball. It just kind of makes an ooh-woo-like sound as it bobs up and down. And after getting through Uwu Ball, then there is one fight left, and that is the Death Egg finale. One of my favorite Sonic bosses in general. 3 phases. The first 2 are up against the Death Egg robot. We need to destroy all of the mech's fingers that are trying to squish us. And then the second phase, dodge Master Emerald laser beams and fire jets that he's shooting out of his nose for some reason. I don't think that's healthy.
Yeah, probably should see a doctor about that.
Okay, I'm spin dashing the wrong way. Tails, don't listen to me.
Fun fact, actually, about this boss we were talking about in practice. If you spin dash under the hands in this boss, you're cool, and you'll actually deal damage. If you do that in Lava Reef, you're just gonna get crushed, regardless of how many rings you have, or if you're in a super/hyper state. I don't know why they designed it like that, when they're basically the same thing, and one is earlier in the game than the other, but that's how it is, and it's just one of the funny quirks about this game. Looks like we finished up phase 2 there, and now we just have the final dash to get the Master Emerald back from Eggman.
Yeah, time will not be immediately after the final hit here. There will be lots of explosions, and the screen will fade to white, and when the explosions stop and it is fully faded, that is when time is. And... time.
GG! That was an amazing run.
I am a little bit curious, what was my time?
Your time was 34 minutes and 56 seconds.
Alright, that is very close to Marathon PB. That is, I believe, only the second time I've ever gotten a 34 in a marathon, so I am very, very, very happy with that.
Awesome.
Fox, are there any shoutouts that you want to give first?
Yeah, just real quick, I want to give out a shout out to everybody in the Sonic Origins speedrunning community. It's a great place. We do everything Sonic Origins and a lot of stuff just classic Sonic in general. Shoutouts to some people like Von Ryder and Fire Toke, who I see in the chat here today, but there are plenty of others who are lurking in the background, and just everyone in the server is great. If you want to get into Sonic Origins, get into speedrunning, modding, anything like that, feel free to join the community. They are definitely the people who made this possible. They are the reasons me and Snowball even know each other. Just a great place to be.
Yeah, so true. I also want to shout out the Sonic Origins speedrunning community for just, yeah, as you said, being just a super cool group of people, and also just being so welcoming. Few other shout-outs that I want to give real quick. Shout-outs to Lady Arcaders for having me and letting me show off Sonic Origins. I love this game so much, and any chance that I get to show it off in a marathon, I'm just so happy about. Shout-outs to all my friends over at Fast Pace Events, FPE. Really cool group of people, really lovely to hang out with. And shout-outs to also some of my friends from other areas of the Sonic community. Callie McN, Flame Dragon, Virtual Cat. Just so many people that have been so kind and so sweet, and again, thank you so much to Lady Arcaders for having me. This was an absolute blast.
Thank you so much, Snowball and Fox, for that amazing run. And we are going to transition over in just a minute and check on that sand cam and that Gunpla build. So stay with us, folks. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Lady Arcader's Super Showcase 2025 benefiting Care. My name is Savage Octagon, and it is time once again to check in on Sanjan on that Gunpla build. Sanjan, how you doing?
Hello, gamers. Excuse me. We started building the body, as you see here, and then you see also here, like, they gave you a little person to put inside the mech, which is actually really cool. Excuse me. But I ended up... I went off on a wonderful start already, and I ended up putting, like, this upper piece, like, backwards, which is something you're going to encounter a lot building your first Gunpla. So I had to take all of this apart, which thankfully was not too many parts, and put it back together, and now we're here. So...
Awesome.
Yeah, thankfully, Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually have a question for you from the chat that's kind of related to what you're just saying. Someone asked, what's the hardest part about building these models?
So, the second one would be, like, I had to actually, like, use a lot of physical force, and I'm not that strong to, like, put, like, especially, like, these little side pieces in, as you see here, when I'm pointing to. That one, like... Some of these pieces can be hard to put in, but my most especially hardest part is reading instructions, as I have mentioned, because reading instructions very hard.
I mean, that's life, isn't it?
Yeah. So, thankfully, like, you can find, generally with most Gundams, you can quickly find it as like, oh no, I did an oopsie, and then, yeah, again, I had to put all of this apart. Thankfully, that was not too quick. I did also want to mention, I forgot to introduce a couple of tools of the trade. You'll see here that I put on a sticker. So these stickers are here. So generally, you'll put these stickers usually on, like, the face, like the head part, or just, like, any specific part. So these can be, like, really hard to put on, especially if they're, like, in a really small area. So what I usually do is, like, I get tweezers like these to help me out. So as you see here, like, I sort of messed up, but it's not too bad if the camera can focus. But yeah, there's also other types of stickers here. So as you noticed earlier, there's a sticker bag. So, like, what these are called are just, like, kind of just, like, water decals. They're generally, like, a little hard to put in because you have to put it on, like, the piece itself. And, like, I have a water solution base, but I will... I freely say I am not very much an expert on that. There are also sticker-based sort of just like water solutions where you like peel it out, you put it on there, and then like you put some type of like water on it to make it stick. So I am not going to be putting these on. I generally am not very good at putting those on because like they are very complicated. But yeah, chat agrees with me. Yeah, like following instructions, worst part easily. So, but. Yeah, we have the body set up. I think I made okay progress so far, despite my little oopsie moment. And then...
You look awesome, because I have another good question for you, and maybe we can chat about something that's coming up later. Someone asked, how are you so cool?
I think not only am I cool, I think, chat, you're awesome too. And the person who told me that question of how am I so cool? You're really cool too.
Oh, that's an awesome response. Yeah, I mean, cool people hang out with cool people, am I right?
Yeah, especially this awesome community of gamers.
Now I'm curious. Have you played Stardew Valley? You must have, right?
I played it casually, like the last time I played was like 3 to 4-ish years ago. I've watched like a few speedruns, especially the ones on like the marathon. So I would say not very much.
Well, you know about the cooking recipes, right? Like I played it and I dug in deep, but I actually never became a cooking aficionado. But the run later, they're actually going to cook a recipe in real life while they go get the stuff to cook it in the game.
This is
So
a very potentially dumb question, but there's cooking recipes in that game?
I know, right? Somehow I just got locked in on the fishing and whatnot, and like I didn't cook anything.
I locked in on like the farming portion. I was like, "Ooh, I need to make sure I farm," and then I go mine, and then that was just basically a summation of my experience with Stardew Valley.
Yeah, me too. I was just selling to get those dollars, but yeah. So we can actually vote with our dollars on which recipe is going to be cooked. So there's a farmer's lunch, a tropical curry, a survival burger, and an eggplant parmesan. So
You know,
which one of those sounds good?
The survival farmer, and like what was the last one?
Let's see.
the
So eggplant, yeah, survival burger and eggplant parmesan.
You know, survival burger sounds like such a good name, just because it sounds like just like the definition of comfort food.
Yeah, you know, like I'm a big burger fan, and interestingly enough, the survival burger requires foraging level 8. So that's pretty high level stuff. So, you know, that could be a really good one. And of course, all you gotta do is go onto our Tiltify campaign. You can do !donate and make sure you put your donation towards an incentive.
You know, I do have to grab lunch, like, at some point. I will go get a burger just for you all.
Oh.
I'm telling you all to donate for the survival burger.
Listen to that, folks. You heard Sanjan. And yeah, now, would you recommend eating a burger next to your Gunpla build, or are you gonna eat that off of your table?
My table is like in real life is like pretty big, so I can like
Oh.
what I usually do, like I usually eat at my desk is like push this mat off to the side. So don't worry, folks. We won't have food particles on the Gunpla. I am generally pretty good about that.
Yeah. Oh wait, I just wanted to mention still.
Bergie donos, so true.
Bergie donos, exactly. Like I want to hear what kind of Bergie stuff you like to have. Obviously, you could have a veggie burger, an impossible burger, the OG, but I want to know what you would take on your burger in your donos. And of course, in chat, feel free to ask any questions that you have for Sanjan so I can relay them. Because we're going to keep checking in, and this is great. Yeah,
What is on the survival burger anyways?
Oh yeah, you know what? I bet chat's gonna help us out with that, but I don't think it's fish, which is really the only thing that I care about in Stardew Valley.
Sorry, I'm just like trying to mix words, but also while like multitasking and like doing this. Like I like on my burgers, like I'm a very simple person. Like I will just like hyper focus on one thing, and like usually like when I go to burger places, I live in the West Coast, so like there's an In-N-Out. I will only order a cheeseburger with no onions and no tomatoes.
Oh, I am also a no tomatoes person. But
I just do not vibe with tomatoes on a burger. Like I'm okay with like the smaller-ish tomatoes on a salad, but not on a burger. I think when I think of survival burger, I would only think like protein and meat of whichever kind. But honestly, like I thought you were talking about like you like fish on your burger, like you like a fish burger, and I was just like, that sounds like I've never heard of it before, but it also sounds really cool.
Well, I just heard in chat that the Survivor Burger is just a burger that Jeff Probst hands you. Because Jeff Probst is the host of Survivor. I feel like that would just be something that he waves in front of your face and is like, didn't do the challenge right. Now I'm going to eat this. But actually, the real ingredients in Stardew Valley, it's bread, a cave carrot, and eggplant.
That sounds... Honestly, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. So, you know, we're going to keep the camera on you, and eventually we're going to see those hands disappear while you get some lunch. But in the meantime, I hear we're just about ready for Banjo-Tooie.
Ooh. I heard the showcase was really fun.
Yeah. 2 players, 1 banjo, so stick around, folks. We'll be back with that, and Sanjan, keep on building. And chat, keep on asking questions.
See ya, folks.